five wide receivers. I'm going to start heading into week 10. The first guy's Travis Fulgham of the Philadelphia Eagles. This guy's emerged out of nowhere after bouncing around the league on practice squads and special teams for the last few years, but he's went his number one target, it looks like. Many people concerned that they're going to bench him, but I don't think that's the case at all. How could you bench him? He's helped this team through tough weeks and getting the job done, so they can't bench him, and you shouldn't bench him either. This week, he's got a great matchup versus the New York Giants, is Travis Fulgham. The Giants, they're not going to have an answer for him. Fulgham, it seems like every week he's scoring a touchdown, and this week I don't expect nothing less from him. So Fulgham, he's a good receiver. Carson Wentz, he gets him the ball. Now the offense is going to be more open as well with Sanders back and Goddard now another week healthy. So right there, Travis Fulgham, he's going to put in that work this week at receiver. The second guy is Robby Anderson, the Carolina Panthers. And what a season he's had is Robby Anderson. He scored double-digit fantasy points every week this year, except once, which is in week 8 with 9 he had in PPR leagues. And once again, Anderson, he's versing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team that's susceptible to giving points up to receivers. And I think it's going to happen again in week 2. We saw Robby Anderson versus the Bucs have 9 catches, 109 yards on 10 targets. And I think it's going to continue again. You know, the Panthers are going to have to throw the ball. You know, the Bucs are going to come out with a chip on their shoulder after getting embarrassed last week. And I think this could be a mini shootout this game in a divisional matchup. So go out there and start Robby Anderson. You want to talk about consistency. He's a guy that brings it for fantasy football each and every week. We're staying in the same game. And the third guy is Antonio Brown. He was on the field a lot, surprisingly, last week versus New Orleans Saints. They didn't waste any time with him. Him and Brady, they weren't in sync on one play where he wanted him to go deep, but Brown was doing a comeback. But anyway, Brown, he played 78% of the snaps in his debut, and this guy, he's going to stay on the field. He's going to play a lot, I think. So Brown, he's a good start this week, and I think he could get sneaky and get you 70 yards and a touchdown. The Panthers, I don't think they got an answer for him. Brown, he still looks pretty quick, and he still has the hands. He made an amazing catch in that game versus the Saints. So Brown, go out there and start him. I think this guy, he could put up numbers this week, even though I didn't think he would have much of an impact. They're throwing him into the lineup early and often right away. Is Tampa Bay. The fourth guy I'm going to go start is Higgins, another impressive rookie in probably one of the best draft classes for rookies this year. Higgins, each and every week, he's putting up double-digit fantasy points from week 3 to 8 now. And once again, he's going to do it again at Pittsburgh, is Higgins. This guy, he's a good receiver. Him and Burrow got a good rapport going. A.J. Green, he's been a non-factor, so it's pretty much been Higgins and Boyd, the two top guys. They work off each other well. He's off his bye week now, so he's good to go the rest of the year, and he's got a great schedule coming up as well as Higgins. Pittsburgh this week, that gives up the 8th most fantasy points. Then Washington, Giants, and Miami. So Higgins, he's a surefire play each and every week. And this week, he's going to give you a good game. And the fifth and final guy is another guy who's been emerging over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And that's Christian Kirk of the Arizona Cardinals. And Kirk, again, catching another deep ball from Kyler Murray. And he's Murray's main man on the deep threat now. Now with double-digit fantasy points in his last 3 ball games for Kirk. Kirk finished today in week 9 for 5 catches, 125 yards, and a touchdown versus Miami, which was good for 23 fantasy points. So Christian Kirk, he's got a good matchup versus a Buffalo team that we just saw a bunch of receivers have good games against on the Seattle Seahawks, and I expect nothing less here. Kirk, I could see him again going for another 80 to 90 yards and a touchdown. He's got a touchdown as well, Kirk, in his last 3 weeks. He's got 5 touchdowns, so Kirk's definitely going. Hopkins is getting all the attention rolled to him, and now it's Kirk one-on-one beating those corners off the line of scrimmage. That's 5 receivers I'm going to start heading into week 10.